Then the last point I wanted to talk about was the appointment of Luis Boa Morte as the Guinea Bissau manager. And this goes to support the discussion we had a couple of weeks ago on one of the earlier episodes. Luis Boa Morte, for people that don't know, he played for Arsenal, he has a fantastic footballing career. So he joined his coaching crew while he was at Everton. And while the guy was sacked, Boa Morte too was asked to go. Then the guy got appointed in Fulham, and he got Boa Morte on board too. So Boa Morte has been an assistant manager for quite a number of years, and he just couldn't break that glass ceiling, becoming a full-time manager. He had to settle for, I don't want this to sound as if I'm being disrespectful to Guinea Bissau, but I believe that is you settling for that particular position. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, so one, that is Marco Silva. Marco Silva is the Portuguese coach.
I was going to say Thiago Silva, and I was like, that doesn't sound right.
Marco, not Thiago. Yeah, Marco Silva.
Yeah.
That I think we both think he can coach a little bit. He's a pretty good coach.
It's all right.
Some people don't like him because they think he's too ambitious, but I don't think there's any such thing as being too ambitious. I'm a pretty ambitious person myself.
If you're coaching Fulham and Everton, you need to be ambitious.
You need to be ambitious. Otherwise, why are you doing it?
Man, you have to be. Why are you doing it?
But everything you say, I totally agree. Again, let's just be very explicit we're talking about the racism in sports segment that we talked about. Luis Boa Morte is, I think, Portuguese, but black player. And I don't think he's ever interviewed for a full-time manager role. I've never heard his name, but I see him on the bench all the time.
In the EPL? In the EPL, no.
No.
Outside of the EPL, of course, yes. He's been full-time manager in some clubs in Europe. Yeah.
But Boa Morte has been?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think he was. Was it in the
lower level?
No, not in England, in Europe.
Oh, okay.
Trying to remember. Is it Maccabi Haifa or something?
I did not know that.
I can't remember.
Interesting.
Yeah, before he came on board, before he came to Everton,
Okay, good for him. I didn't know that. Silva. Oh, no, I see it. No, he's only coached one team, Sintrense. I don't know where that is. Where's Sintrense?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's only coached one team. Coaching career.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Haifa. I thought it was Maccabi Haifa. Or was he assistant manager at Maccabi Haifa?
It may have been. So Fulham Academy, coach Fulham Academy, assistant manager of Sporting. Oh, that's good. Well, Sporting B. No, he was assistant of Sporting B, the reserve team of Sporting.
Yeah, the reserve team. Yeah.
And then manager of the U19s of Sporting. This is all in Portugal. Scout at Arsenal. And then
yes, because he played for Arsenal briefly.
Yeah, Sintrense. Where is that? Where is Sintrense? Is Portuguese 4th division. So yeah.
Well, what was he at Maccabi Haifa?
I don't see it. I don't see it. Then from there, manager of Portimonense's U23, and then assistant manager of Maccabi Haifa. Yeah, but it was only
assistant manager. I thought he was manager.
No, it was assistant, and then he came to Everton.
My bad.
With Marco Silva.
Then he came to Everton,
and then Fulham.
My bad.
So he has had a manager job, but again, so what Yinka is saying is he's now moving to Africa, which I joked about when we had that episode. That
absolutely
that
you did.
You might be able to you might be able to get a job in Africa.
Yeah,
I love it because again,
he's following Seedorf's footsteps.
Seedorf went to Cameroon, I think. Right? It was Cameroon. Yeah, two stints with Cameroon.
Yeah,
Cameroon.
Yeah.
Chris Hughton with Ghana. Again, because I just feel like when you hire, and I don't want to make this racial, but you hire a white coach, what are you hiring? What Yinkana is saying is, for many of our African brethren, they're hiring the color. They're not hiring the expertise, because they're hiring white coaches Yinkana have never heard of, and we watch a lot of sports, right? So if it's about expertise, when we did our African 11, we've told you about players that played in Europe 40 years ago. There are legends in Africa that played in Europe in the 70s. So if Europe is the place where everyone has to go play to prove yourself, Africans have been playing in Europe since the 60s, right? So, but we've had a flood of African talent that played in the 70s and the 80s, and then really, 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 really played in the 90s and 2000s and today. So if it's expertise you're going to Europe for, there are people from your country that have that expertise. Okay. I would argue even more because they actually played at a higher level than these $2 coaches that you're bringing from nowhere, Europe, but
nowhere. Yeah.
Our brethren in Africa, they're not hiring for expertise. They're hiring for skin color, which is insane. Right. So when you have someone like Luis Boa Morte, who is Portuguese, I believe he played for Portugal, who just happens to be black. And next time someone says, "Oh, the African players, they're not doing," or the black players, they're not doing their badges. Look at everything they had to do to finally get, a manager's job in Africa. And the only other manager job he got before that was a 4th division. I'm not going to call Portugal a minor league, but like a mid-range, mid-level league in Europe. It's not top 5. We don't talk about it. And it just illustrates everything we talked about on that episode.
And it also tells you that it's not a quality issue. It's not a competence issue, or else he wouldn't be assistant manager at Everton.
No.
He wouldn't be assistant manager at Fulham.
No.
Right? It's not a competence issue. It's an opportunity issue.